Hello, friends. I'm excited to see you all today. I hope that this goes well because I've plastered it everywhere and I've tagged my sister-in-law in it. So I don't want anybody to blame her if it doesn't work out the way I see it in my head or that she doesn't like what we come up with. But um, let's see, where do we start? So before I switch the camera down, I want to tell you why this is about my sister-in-law. Um, my sister-in-law, Lori, is a realtor and lives in Carl Junction, Missouri, which is near where my husband is from, where his family lives. And this is her logo. So let me figure this out. Okay, can you see? Kind of see? So that beautiful pineapple. Now the color of this pineapple is like gold embossed in the Stampin' Up! World. But when we were together at Christmas, Lori shared with me that she'd like to have some cards, some note cards to write to her customers as a thank you, or could be anything, and that she just really wasn't happy with the quality she was seeing in and the options that she was seeing in shops. So she asked me, or she said to me that it'd be great if I could make some for her, and that she was willing to purchase them, which is something that will work out later. But I had already seen something that was coming up in the Celebration catalog that I thought would really fit the bill. Now there's another stamp set too, which just occurred to me, that's over there, it's over there, that I might have to play with too. But today we're just going to play with this Celebration stamp set, and it is called Island Vibes. Okay, so for this little pineapple right here, right? Have you ever bought a stamp set just for one stamp, for maybe one greeting? Well, you know what I'm talking about. I wanted this pineapple. Now this is a Celebration stamp set, which means that I was able to select it free with a $50 purchase. So I did. And that is the heart and soul of what we're doing today. So I am going to switch scenes and show you kind of what I had in mind. Now, this stamp is just a single stamp, right? But the samples that I'm seeing are in kind of a yellowish down here and a green up here, which is what I have in my head. Now I also see a solid black and I see a solid gold. Been watching a few medium reruns, and that whole I see things has me a little wigged out. But so there are options for keeping this stamp just like it is, and doing the two colors. And I'm going to show you some of those, and I'm going to tell you why I decided to not go that route. Not that I'm trying to be super secretive. I just want to walk you through options, because we always have options. There's always so many different ways to do something. And I may show you something today that really connects with you. Well, that doesn't mean that what somebody else showed you yesterday is wrong, or that you see tomorrow is wrong. It's just a different way. So, and it may be even the same way. Anyway, all right, so I'm going to set this aside, and then notice it doesn't have any greetings. It's all about this pineapple right here for me. And let's see. I'll show you a couple that I played with before we started. So this stamp I used the single stamp, and I gold heat embossed. So you can see it kind of has some shine to it. And then I used a greeting from Happy and Heartfelt. Now this is in the mini catalog. I love these fonts. I love these greetings. This Hello Baby, I really wanted to use that in Monday's card, but it was just too big. So awesome greetings here. And then I've also used this from Flowing Flowers on something else, a different sample that I'm going to show you in just a minute. So For this one, I stamped in Versamark ink, I heat embossed it, and then I stamped the greeting on another scrap piece of white, and then put it all together. And I'm going to add some metallic pearls to really kind of finish that off. For this look, I stamped in Bumblebee and in Evening Evergreen. Now, Bumblebee is a color that's going away this spring. So if I decide to go this route, well, okay, I gotta act quickly because I'm gonna need Bumblebee cardstock as well as Bumblebee and ink pad and a refill. And those are gonna go kind of quickly. And then I did this one, which this is all Bumblebee, okay, just one single stamp done 3 times. And then I stamped that thank you over one of the pineapples. So we might finish these off. We might go somewhere entirely different because I kind of want to show you the same thing done multiple ways rather than introduce multiple pieces, I guess. I don't even know how to say it. All right, so the sample that I saw first was by Mary Knabe, and she had used markers. And she used multiple markers, right? So I'm going to say right up front that you could absolutely use multiple markers. But to be fair, since I'm going to single stamp in one color and single stamp in one color, and you all can't see that, I'm going to use single markers as well. All right, does that make sense? So I'm going to color the bottom of this pineapple in Bumblebee, and I'm going to color the top actually in Mossy Meadow. And the reason I'm doing Mossy Meadow instead of Evening Evergreen is so that we can kind of tell these apart, because I have a feeling they may look alike. And I already have the Mossy Meadow over here, so that's why. Now I had trouble Monday staying in the window, so I'm gonna try and be careful here. I love this grid paper for many, many reasons, but this is one of my favorite things to do. I have pinpointed the middle of my layer here just by making sure I have 4 green squares, I have 4 blue squares. And now I know that this is the middle of this piece of white, basic white cardstock. So now when I say Mary did lots of colors, this is a distinctive stamp, so it has lots of detail in the stamp already, but she came back and did some variations of green and yellow to add even more depth. And it's beautiful, but my objective is really to come up with something that Lori, who's not a stamper, could do on her own. So say I make her 20 of these, and I really should have done the yellow first. Do you know why I should have done the yellow first? Because if I run over and touch the green with my Bumblebee when I put it down, I'm going to pick up that green on my marker, which is not a big deal, but it's an observation. But you can already see that this method is taking a little bit of time, right? And what I think you're also going to see, and maybe this is just me, is that I tend to get not such a great definition. I don't get as much color out of this, even though I think I can huff with the best of them. I just don't think it works out the best. That's for me. That's why there are options, and that's why I'm going to show you so many of them. So then you need to re-moisten this stamp, and you do this by what's called huffing on it, which just means I go like this. I added moisture. Now this is still pretty much in the center, so I'm going to stamp it down. Not too bad, right? Not too bad at all. I definitely have some good color now. I didn't quite get what I wanted out of the bottom, and because this is a a red rubber stamp, a cling stamp, there's no way I could line that up and try it again from the block, right? So now rather than do that 3 times and take up a lot of our time, we're going to have done just this one, and we're going to clean it off, and I'm going to show you how you could still use your single stamp on the Stamparatus and mask it off. Okay. Masking is something I do, with some regularity, so that's not so surprising. Okay, so now here is my Stamparatus. Do I need to zoom out a little bit? Maybe that helps a bit. So I have the Stamparatus base. The Stamparatus comes with 2 of these clear acrylic plates. They serve as your block. I'm going to take that off, and I don't need my block now. I am going to need something to mask off, and I could use a Post-it note, or I happen to love this Post-it tape that I got from Amazon, so that's what I am going to use for this. Now I'm only going to need 1 plate, so I'm going to set the other one aside, and I'm going to put this on its hinges. Now I am going to need something over here because this is where I ink up my stamp, and I need it to be a smooth surface, and if I don't, it's going to be at a slope. So I'm just going to grab a stamp case and slide this underneath. I need to get you guys out of my way. I already cut my my layers before we started because I knew I wanted to do a few different things. Now, would it be cheating if I do this in the same on the same layer? We can always write in pencil if we need to. And I'll just go ahead and do that. I'm going to grab a pencil. I'm going over here to grab a pencil. I was getting a little nervous. No pencils anywhere. Okay. Now this is grid paper that fits the Stamparatus. So I'm going to put that in place. I'm going to grab a magnet from its home on the back and hold it in place. And then I'm doing this a little backwards because I'm going to add this to one that's already existing. So I'm just going to position my layer so that it's in a place. If this were to slide, it'd be easy enough to put it back in that corner. And sometimes I even mark that corner. And then I know I want this to be about there. Now, if you were working with your Stamparatus, then you could you could line up this, more perfectly. All right, now so I've just brought the acrylic plate over and picked up my stamp, and now I am off camera, so I'm going to slide a little bit this way. Now, if I'm going to do the yellow first, and so this is where I want this to be. I need to take my masking material. So in this case, I'm using Post-it tape, and I need to mask off. You know what? This would be why I should use the green. Do the green first. Okay, so the only issue is that this yellow part needs to be kind of curved, so it could be a little tricky. You might want to stamp this on a Post-it note. I mean, you could be very precise. You might want to stamp this on a Post-it note and then cut it out and make your mask. And we certainly do that sometimes. But by doing the green first, I can let the green bleed into the yellow a little bit, I think. Let's just give this a try. All right, so I did that in Mossy Meadow, so I need my Mossy Meadow. So my whole color idea just went out the window because I'm redoing the same layer. So you can see I'm just stamping this down, and yep, I'm getting ink on the part that I've masked. Masked, that's kind of a hard word to say. Now I'm going to peel up my tape, and bring this over. Did I not? I did that in Mossy Meadow, I feel sure. I guess when it dries, it'll look a little differently. Now, the cool thing about the Stamparatus is that I can ink this up and bring it back, and it's going to be right in the same place if I wanted a little more definition. But you can kind of see, because I've already taken my mask off, I did not go as deep into the stamp, and I kind of got a line. So I could put the mask back on, or I could continue in my lazy self here and do this until I get it the way I want it. Okay, and I got lots of depth there. I got more than I got over here, which I kind of expected, because the marker is, the way I did it was kind of a one and done. And anyway, all right, so now let's clean the top of this off with a chamois. Okay, and that's a very well-loved piece of a chamois, and then a brand new chamois. They start out that lovely pinky purple. Okay, now I need Bumblebee down here on the bottom. And I don't think I have to be quite so precise with this. I can let that yellow kind of bleed into the green. So I'm going to be okay. And remember, I'm on the Stamparatus, so I can do this multiple times if I need to. And I could have masked off the green again. I just didn't think for a pineapple I really needed to. But you can kind of see it's not as deep. Let's see, do I need to pan in? Can you see? You can kind of see get a line of color here. So I can come back with my marker and kind of touch it up. Okay. So this looks like a great thing to do, right? The Stamparatus gives you all these opportunities to get more and more depth, so on and so forth. So I've shown you so far. I had colored with the markers, so we did that on a block. I just did 2 markers, and then we've used the Stamparatus and a mask. And now I'm going to show you how I cut this apart, and I'm actually going to cut this one apart. So I'm going to end up with 2 that are cut apart, because I've already done it for one, but I thought you should see how you do that. And let's see, even before that, so cut apart, I could do this in 2 steps and not have to mask it off, right? So before I cut this apart, I'm just going to kind of show you what I mean there. So this is the one that I've already cut apart, and here's the bottom. And I'm going to place him about there, and I'll pick it up. And then once again, I'm off. Oh, because I zoomed in. I was like, why? Thought I had plenty of room. Okay, so I'm going to come back over here so you can see this is going to end up over here. This is going to be the 3rd pineapple over here. So I get the bonus of using the Stamparatus. I get to stamp it multiple times, just over and over. And I do think that the Stamparatus is a fabulous tool for a new stamper. Lots of reasons. This is just one of them. So I've got more color than this one, not as much as this one. No need to pull out the marker because it's just the single stamp. I don't have to worry about coming back in with green. All right, so there's the Bumblebee color. Now, how on earth would I do the green. So, and I might should have thought this out just a little bit better, but this stamp, if you notice, there's so much detail. There's not a break between the two, right? So I know that as long as I've got red rubber that is lining up with my stamped image, I'm going to should be in the right place. Now, and I would probably do this on scrap paper over and over. And you know what? I can. Let's show you what is more realistic here. So I've got my corner here, right? This is where, yeah, so it's this corner right here. So I'm going to mark this corner. This is where my cardstock is going to go, right? And it comes up to here. Then what I would do to figure out where to put that second piece, I would stamp this on my grid paper. What? I think this needs to be re-inked. Okay, and I'm going to do it one more time just because I really want to be able to see. I would really want to see this edge up here. Okay, now I would take this little guy, and honestly this is going to be harder on the Stamparatus than it is on the block, and you'll see why in a moment. Now I could do something like this. Clearly I'm keeping it very real and doing this on the fly. So one option would be to do just what I've done, put it down here and pick it up with, say, the second arm. And I'm going to grab a different color just so you can see how well that happens. Okay, so this is Sahara sand, and bring that over. Okay, so I got a little bit into the yellow, all right? So, but that would be one way, and I did that, pretty rushed. I don't like my videos to take up all of your day. Okay, so in this case, I would then adjust this, try it again, so on. But because this is put apart, I could also put it together like this. And then just take this off. If you're only doing one, that might be a pretty good solution. And now I'll come back over with my Mossy Meadow. Of course, you just saw the big boo-boo that I made because I took that off before I stamped on my actual card. But that one's much better. So we'll do it in reverse on the card. Oh, actually, I'm okay because I've already stamped down the yellow. Goodness gracious, I might need a little caffeine. Okay. So even though it was cut up, it really fit right back together, which is why I know I could go back and stamp single images even if it's cut apart. It's pretty good, right? And because I'm on the Stamparatus, I can just keep re-inking and going. So this might be the I don't know, the best. See, I want to say best, but it all depends on your objective. So let's talk about what my objective is here. I want to be able to send Lori a kit so that she can do this on her own. So she's a new stamper. She doesn't have a Stamparatus. She doesn't have a lot of tools. You know, I want to be able to send her a pack of note cards, 2 ink pads, a block, a chamois, you know, so minimal, right? So I'm thinking, you know, I want her to be able to do this on her own. I might even pre-cut her cardstock for her so that she can make, a full set of note cards herself. So that's why cutting apart the stamp appealed to me. And what can you do with the cut apart stamp? Well, these I actually did with the cut apart stamp. These we've done with the combination, right? So this was our markers, this was our single stamp and mast, and then this was 2 stamps, both of these using the Stamparatus. All right, so now let's take a look at what you might do with the cut apart stamp. And I am going to use even Evergreen this time. And I don't need this stamp pad, but I need 2 blocks. So I'm going to pick up, well, I need to show you how I'm going to cut this apart. All right, where are my scissors? So what I did when I cut this apart is I kind of folded it so that I could see where I wanted to cut. Now it's fairly clear over on this side, not so much over on that side, but it's not a huge deal. I know I can hear you gasp from there. I hear it. This is risky. Some people would never dream of doing it. All right, so now I've cut apart these 2 stamps. And on this one, can you see that I've got, when I look through this on the block, I can actually see the red rubber line, okay? This one, I can't see the red rubber at all. So that would be really hard for me to try and line them up without something like the Stamparatus, okay? Because it's the red rubber that I need to put back together when I stamp it. So what I did was I carefully cut apart the red rubber on the edge until I could see the red. No, I didn't cut away the red rubber. I cut away the foam with the goal of being able to see the red rubber. Now, yep, that means that I don't have the cushion along the edge. I'm okay with that. Okay, now when I put this on the block, it's still a little hard to see. Not sure if that's my eyes or could be the angle of my scissors when I cut it. But I'm just going to keep chewing away at this foam along the edge. So I can see enough of the red to line up the pieces. And I think I can do that with that. You can see the red there. All right, so now let's go back and find the center of our card. And oh, I wanted to put a magnet down. That's too funny. Not working with the Stamparatus here. And I am going to do, actually, if you worked with the green first, it wouldn't be so important because then you could come along and see with the yellow. I'm not sure that made sense, but the fact that I don't need to see the red rubber on my first stamp down, I just need to see it on the second. So that's a beautiful image there. Look at all the depth you get in these distinctive stamps. And I'm going to come along and I'm going to line this up. Just tuck it in. Goodness. Oh, and I went low. I'm low on this, aren't I? Oh, I just dropped it too low. Yeah, I'm really low on the edge. Okay, let's flip this over, move it up, and we'll stamp the green first, and then we'll do it the other way around. So I'm coming up a little higher. I'm sorry if I got my head in the camera. Keep that over there. And then this one, I want that red rubber to go right up to the edge. And it does. I'm still not getting the bottom edge there. Well, okay, so we can still make the argument for the Stamparatus. And I never meant that you couldn't. I just meant that I want to be able to send Lori something for a new stamper. A new stamper starting out. Let's be successful with these distinctive stamps. Now, this time we're going to stamp the bumblebee first. Hopefully I'm going to get some ink and some pressure down there on the end. And now I do need to be able to line up the evening evergreen on this one, being able to see the red rubber. And there you go. That one keeps kind of be leaning a little bit. You could actually cut away a little bit of the edges here. I'm okay to cut my stamps. All right, so let's do another one over here on the left, because that seems to be our design. And then we'll do this. Oh, excellent. Okay, so I think you've seen a little bit of this. Now I want to show you kind of how, what would I send to Lori so that she could do that. I can't send her stamped images, so I'm going to send her 20 complete cards, right? And then, so let's put this together and talk about her options. And there will be a full supply list when this makes it to the blog. Oops, knocked that one complete off. I did not put my labels on those. I thought it would make it easier to cut. Okay, so what would a kit for Lori look like? I'm gonna pan out a little bit so you can see. All right, so going by my method, what I would send her, I could send her 2 blocks, or I could send her just 1. She can swap those out. Well, let's see what the cost works out to be. All right, so I'm going to send her the stamp set. So that was free with a $100 purchase. Then I'm going to send her a bumblebee and an evening evergreen. That's my choice. I'm going to send her a chamois. She's going to need some snips, right? And I'm probably going to cut all this out for her. Looking at, we're going first for, kind of minimalist. I'm going to send her some pre-cut bases and layers. I'm going to send her enough of that. And then she needs a pack of note cards, okay, and Is that everything that she needs to get started? I think it could be. So the chamois, let's do a rough estimate. So 10, 18, 20, 25. We'll say that we've got $10 in cardstock, 35, and then 45, 55, 51. So this is about a $51 purchase because the stamp set was free. Now, we could obviously change this up and do more. We could add in the flag punch that I used on this card. Oh, actually, we didn't even add any bling yet. We need to put our cards together so that we have some bling option too, right? But so this is a nice gift, but it's not outrageously expensive, and it lets her be self-sufficient. And then maybe we get together next Christmas and we do a whole stash of them. Okay, so but let's finish putting some of these together. So we have this one that you've already seen. I think it needs some metallic pearls. So I'm going to grab these gold metallic pearls. Take your pick tool would be super nice. And we'll do just a couple of these, and then one right there. All right, so there's some metallic pearls on that. That's all done. That's a note card. Oh, I did not stamp the envelope. See, I would stamp the envelope too. Then we have this one that we did, that I did before you joined me. So here's a note card. And let's see how we like this with a little knot of the gingham ribbon. So she's going to need some adhesive. So, you know, you can quickly see how you can add up your basic products and reach that, what I call the sweet spot of 125, because with a $125 order, starter kit order, she could get the ribbon and some embellishments. We might trim this a little bit just so it's not quite into the greeting. Put these together. Ah! And I cut these so that we would just have a border at the top and the bottom, not along the sides. And then this is going to come on here, leaving not too much either. And I pulled out some gems that had the bumblebee color in them. So these square gems do. You can get them open. And surely that is proving to be a challenge. So I can't wait to hear what Lori thinks of these, which ones that she might claim as her design, and see if we can't put together something that she can do on her own. And let's grab a couple of these little ones. Do that here. There and there. Not so sure about that placement, but Okay, so there's a sweet little thank you there. And yeah, the placement could be always different. That is not, it's not my strength, but the only way I'm going to get better is to practice. Then we have this one with, I'll go out on a limb and say this was Evergreen, but oh my gosh, they kind of look the same. This one's Evergreen. This one's Mossy Meadow. Or is it? We use the same. Oh, I don't even know. If I use the marker. Okay, I don't even know anymore. And it's probably just the lighting in here. It is not so bright. All right. Again, I think I would come back with a little bumblebee for the middle. I did not add any greetings to these. Might do that on the inside. Like that there. You all have been pretty quiet. I hope that I haven't just been in dead air all this time. I didn't check, so if I am, it's my own fault. Just use my ribbon scissors because they are easier. I say that and then struggle, right? Okay. And, you know, I'm pretty comfortable with metallic pearls. That's probably what I would send. I begin to think maybe I mixed these up. Might be kind of fun just to bling out this one, huh? If you could just make a decision. Okay. And what do you think? Do we add maybe we'll add a thank you to that one so that we have something to look at there as well. Decide if we like the solid yellow or the two colors. Do we also want a thank you? Honestly, guys, I have no idea. And do we want it, if I did it in the center, that would kind of maybe hide that boo-boo. And add, I have a big mess. I'm not cleaning up as I go, which means I'm going to put my hand in something. I do like these little, just a little knot. Okay, would it go right there? Would they all three get one? Might need some help deciding here. I think we're spotlighting the center one. Oh, I knew it. Always start cutting, and then this is how people end up with crazy bangs. Not that I've ever experienced that. Okay, and then if we go back to just totally plain, which is what it's all about, except I gotta trim this down now that I've trimmed the left side too far. And since, you know, I don't know that Lori wants all thank yous, so she may want some of these blank. And let's grab I use the multi-purpose glue because I can move this around a bit after I put it in place. The goal is to help me get it straight. Now, would you stamp the envelope with your pineapple? Would it be all one color? Or would it be two-tone? So this is, if you're watching live, then you can catch all the other details on the blog post later today or emailed out tomorrow. You can subscribe to YouTube, which is where these get uploaded, so that you don't miss them going there. Here are some of our options today. Do you have a favorite? I'd love to know. Let me know what you think about cutting up a stamp. Is that something that you can do, or something that just no, is a hard no? And do you think that, you know, can you do this without the Stamparatus? I totally think you can. So you save that investment until later, or if you're on a budget, put that on your wish list. It is an absolutely amazing tool for a beginner stamper, but it might be more investment than you're prepared to make as a beginner stamper. All right, so I'm going to stamp this envelope just to show you that you can. And I'm going to start with the gold because I want to be sure I get this in the bottom corner. No naked envelopes. This just adds so much to them. There you go. I think that's lovely. I mean, I think this is an absolutely a lovely thing to receive. I think this one's my favorite. Although I can see this is a definitely, you know, that gold embossing is always a cool thing to do. This one, it feels like it's, now that I've seen it with the greeting, it looks like it's missing something. And then this one, that's a lot of gold. So let me know what you think. Have a fabulous day, and I'll see you in Card Club on Saturday if you are a member of the club or coming to do that class. Otherwise, I'll see you. YouTube Live is Monday. Have a great week, everybody, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.